Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys.
Shout out to Boy Band Break.
It's Chris Kirkpatrick here. Shout out to your podcast, Boy Band Break.
Everybody, this is Howie D, and I'm listening to Boy Band Break.
Hi, Ashley Parker Angel here. Huge shout out to the Boy Band Break podcast.
This is Brad from LFO, and you are listening to Boy Band Break.
Hey, what's up? This is Jacob.
What's up? It's Dan.
What's up? It's Trevor.
And it's Eric Michael, and it's time for Boy Band Break, baby. Let's go!
Bam, 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 bam. Welcome back to Boy Band Break. We encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And Lydia, aka Mama Lou, is gone again, but she will surface eventually. Not today.
She will come back to us, not to worry.
She's always all coming back to me now. All right.
Yes. As you guys know, we podcast, we record a few episodes at a time. So this is why. A little magic.
Maybe
if you haven't heard about this.
Dinosaur shirt, every day for 3 weeks, who knows? Who knows?
Or people buy the same shirts.
Yes, that's true. It could be. Who knows?
They buy like 5 of the same shirt.
Like oh my god, like Ernest. Do you remember those movies? Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest.
Yes.
Ernest P. Worrell. He always had the same.
Like, he had that hat, right? That hat on.
I feel like he had a vest.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's quite entertaining. That man. Or those movies were quite.
In cartoon sitcoms, are always wearing the same outfits. Homer Simpson always has the white shirt and the blue pants.
See.
You
can't just wear the same thing because then you'll be doing laundry every day.
That's true. All right. So Sophia actually came up a very good idea. Is that we obviously, since we've had this podcast for like 6
years now. Yeah.
We've obviously talked about all the things that have happened during that 6 years. Like when we would go to a concert, we would do a recap of that. If we went on a cruise, we would actually I don't think we've gone on any cruises since this podcast has interesting.
Okay. Have we talked about our cruises?
We've talked about cruises a bit and stuff, but generally if we go to an event, we'll talk about it on the podcast or whatever.
Yes.
But there are many events that occurred prior to the podcast.
Yes.
So in one of our very first episodes, we talked about our boy band first, like who was the first boy band we met and things like that. But there's like a gap of time between that and when we started podcasting. So there's like events that we probably have forgotten about. I know I have forgotten about, but yes, there's good.
And it's very interesting because I thought that not every fan has the same experience or the same people they've met. So for example, I met the Backstreet Boys first on their Unbreakable tour because they did a VIP.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that out on the fan club. But my first boy band member that I met from Backstreet Boys was Nick Carter. And I've always heard that Nick Carter was the hardest one to get, but he was the easiest one for me. And the hardest one to get was Howie D from the Backstreet Boys. And for other people, he was the easiest one to get. So I thought I met him a bazillion times.
Yes.
Right. I thought it would be interesting to compare those kinds of things. And I couldn't get a picture with Howie until 2011 for the NKOTBSB tour when we met him by the buses. That was my first picture with Howie. And then that year, I got a cajillion pictures after that with Howie. But
2011 was a good year for Howie.
It was a very good year. But yeah, Nick Carter was the easiest one to get. And yeah, I find that interesting anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we can say about O-Town. Who did we meet from O-Town? Who was the first one from New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, those kinds of things.
Yes.
So really our boy band first in a different way.
All right, sounds good. So what picture would you like me to show first?
Okay, I think we'll start with Backstreet Boys since that's like our main group that we love, are big fans of. Obviously, we love all of them.
So do you want, there's a lot of pictures here. I don't know.
Okay, so let's start with the group photo.
The group photo. Okay.
That's with the 4 of them. So we talked about this one before. This is my first time.
The one with, no, that's
in Toronto.
Got it. Okay, I will share the screen for those who are watching.
Yes.
Here we go.
So this, I don't know why it's like that. I guess that's the only one that I found. But anyways, this is my first time meeting the Backstreet Boys because I found out on the fan club they're finally doing VIPs. This was at the time that it was like $280 for the VIP. Came out
that
like
was so much money back then.
I know, right? Like we had it lucky, man. We were lucky back then. We had it good. But yeah, and then this is the first time like Kevin wasn't there for me because I wouldn't even go on the Never Gone tour. So I guess it was for everyone too, right? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it was for everyone. This is the first time that Kevin wasn't there for everyone. Sorry.
Yes, and then I didn't open the page. So this is Lydia and I also have pictures from that day.
Yes, and this was also interesting because I had a very good experience during this time. So much so that I went to the one in Hamilton in November on their second leg because I had such a good time. And this is when Nick
wasted my money.
Yes, Nick back was hurting, so he asked, "Can they go in the front of the barricade?"
So he didn't have to bend. Yes,
he didn't have to bend. Yes,
I've totally already lost the thing. Anyways, but I've shown it before. But basically, it's the one where I look like I'm grabbing their crotches. Lydia has all the fun, like yay, whatever.
Yeah, the peace signs with her fingers. Yeah,
it's very cute.
Yeah.
Picture. Oh, maybe it's this one. Hold on. Oh wow.
And at that time, I gave
an album that I forgot about. So hold on. Let me find.
And then this was also a picture. Like I used to give gifts to them to thank them for their music. And yes, after that, I stopped doing it after a couple times
because they're like they got stuff. They don't need it. So this is my picture from that day as well. So yes. I liked how we got like the little like sticker. They don't do that anymore, eh? The sticker.
No, they don't. Yeah.
No, it's just lanyards.
I know. Which is, I guess, cool because you have it. It's like a stick. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a sticker would be nice too.
Mm-hmm.
And then And then do you want to put up the single photos? The solo
Howie
photos?
is this one or
Howie. Let's do Howie because this was my the hardest one to get, Howie. Love you, Howie, but I don't know why. But you were the hardest one.
Howie. Yeah. Oh, so where would this have been?
This was 2011 NKO TBSB tour.
This is Hamilton.
In Hamilton.
I see the Salvation Army behind you. So.
Yes.
Oh, okay, he's right by this. Was this when he was like walking around and nobody knew it was Howie?
Yes, before the concert, we were walking right beside him, and then the girls looked back and were like, "Oh, we were walking with Howie." We didn't know. Yeah,
I had no idea. That was hilarious.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
This one, I didn't get a picture with him that day because I had met him a bunch of times. So I was just pulling in random people who had not had pictures with him. It's like, okay, somebody else go pull in. So,
yeah. So I was like, I think this is the last one. Well, of the four boys, was my last photo with Howie. And then, do you want to put up the Nick one? This one, yeah. So this was at Nick's birthday bash. He had like a few of them during the week of his birthday in 2010. Okay. I think 2010.
And where was this? Toronto or Ottawa?
This was Ottawa. I think it was either 2009 or 2010. And yeah, it was like birthday bash week for him. So he went to the Toronto one.
Did you do that one too, or just?
I did that one too. That one wasn't as good as the Ottawa one because he didn't take photos there.
Oh, okay.
And I forget where it was.
So was Ottawa before Toronto or after Toronto?
Toronto was first.
Okay.
And then
I went with less busy?
Less busy and a little bit cheaper. And I feel like he was in a better mood.
Yeah, because Toronto can be a bit hectic sometimes and overwhelming, I feel. So
I feel like the Toronto one also was like a bar.
Okay.
I don't know. It wasn't like a.
So was he performing? Like, why was he in Canada for this?
It was like an after party.
Oh, he just came for this thing, or was it during the tour?
No. So it was basically, it's like you know how they do after parties. So he did it more for his birthday week. So basically,
he wasn't performing anywhere. Nothing was happening.
No, he just celebrated his birthday. Yeah.
Weird.
It was weird. I don't know.
What he decided. Okay.
I don't know. He loves Toronto. He loves Canada. I don't know. I didn't ask questions. I'm like, cool, I'll go. I don't mind.
I'll go.
So,
It's cheap. I'll hang out.
yeah. So that one wasn't bad. And then we found out about Ottawa. So I went with Jen and Kat. That was when like Kat was like underage. So we had to get her like
into a bar.
We sure did. I'm like, Nick Carter's there. You better get in there. Yeah. So we got like I think.
How underage was she? Just like 18 then?
I think she was like, I think she was like 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like a couple of years off of like when we could come in. But at that time, I don't think they really cared.
Yeah.
Because
It
like
was kind of a private event, but not, right?
yeah. So then even though they checked ID, they didn't really care. I don't know.
Fair enough.
We got in, we're good. And then he took a selfie. This was his selfie skills. He cut off like half our face. So I asked him, can you redo the photo?
And he was was this on a camera, like a phone, or was it on like
no, it was actually on a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Digital camera, baby. Remember that time? There was some good.
Was it a digital camera? Yeah, I think so.
It would have been, because how would you know you cut it off unless you had like
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because I think at that time I just had a BlackBerry phone.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was a camera. But yeah, he cut it off, and then I was like, "Can you do another one?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And then
like no one really has digital cameras anymore, like the little ones.
Not at all. Yeah.
Everyone's just taking things on their phone, right?
Right. Yeah. So he was the first one that I got. Very easy. See?
Yeah.
And then I went to Brian's Healthy Car Club event.
Is that the next picture? Or?
I think so.
It is not. I will skip that. Here we go. Oh, look at you, a little visor.
Yeah. So this was the golf. He did golfing one day because it was a 2-weekend event.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 1-weekend event. Sorry. So he did golf, and then he did like a concert carnival type thing.
Now, did you go once or twice to this?
I went twice.
So they had 2 of these events and then they stopped doing them, or you just stopped going?
He stopped doing them.
Okay.
So he did it a year prior. He did bowling 1 year.
So
they were supposed to. No. They were supposed to go to South Africa.
Okay. Well, you definitely would have flown there. Jeez.
But Howie's dad passed away during that time.
Okay, gotcha.
So then instead of going, he did the Healthy Car Club event. I feel like that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. So they did a bowling event that one time. And then I guess to make it a little bigger, they did a weekend event, and they did golf and then a carnival.
Now, you didn't actually play golf though. You could just watch him play.
I just watched him play. At one point, his friend, I think it was a lawyer friend, almost hit one of my friends playing golf with a golf ball, and we're like, okay,
no.
That's why they say 4.
Yes. That could hurt.
So this was the golf event, but the night before was the VIP dinner. So you got to spend money
with him.
Yes, that's where we danced, and that's where I asked the DJ to play Everyone, and then he did the tour dance.
Everyone, not everybody, because a lot of DJs
so I had to
mix
make
those up.
sure. Yes, I had to make sure the DJ understood what I said. It was Everyone.
Yeah,
and then his sister-in-law, Leanne's sister, helped me to get him to dance on the dance floor to do the Everyone dance. He just did like a couple moves, and it was very entertaining.
Oh, very nice. Would you say there was a big turnout for this?
Yes, it was a very big turnout because I think it was Atlanta, Marriott, Atlanta.
Okay.
Something like that.
So it was a gala dinner and then a golf tournament.
Yes.
And then the next year you went, and it
was a carnival. It was a weekend event for a carnival. It was so much fun. They did a performance. They sang together, him and Leanne. We got to do photo booth photos. I think I posted some there in the messenger.
Yep, I see it. Hold on one sec.
We had a good time.
Un momento. Is this your photo photo?
Sorry?
This is it, right?
Yeah. So these are the photo booth photos. So obviously at the carnival.
Oh, look at you hug. Look at that hug. That's so
I lean in. I feel like I since the Nick Carter the pendant movie experience. I always lean in, and everyone's like, "I love that you lean in." I'm like, "Yes, it is a Backstreet Boy. I'm going to lean in."
You're gonna lean in.
So yeah, so these were
Aw, look at
fun
this. This is
photos.
cute.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, just
So
staring into each other's eyes.
See, you pay tickets, and then you got a wristband, and then you got like those photo booth tickets. You
So
gave
this
them
was like on one of those photo strip things?
Yes,
Okay.
it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
So is this picture you pretending to beat him up and him being scared, or what's going on here?
Yes, yes, I think we did like a scary photo, or like you be scary and I'm gonna pretend to beat you up, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, cute. Very cute.
yeah. And then we did one with
Did you play
Leanne.
basketball or something too, or?
Yes, we did the basketball toss, and then he signed the little like doggy.
So you won a prize?
Yeah, everyone won a prize, a stuffy dog or whatever it was.
Cute. That's so fun.
And then he signed it.
Oh, very nice.
And then I was like, at least I tried. I think I got. He's really good, right? He's very competitive at everything.
Yeah.
He won, obviously, but I think I was like close. And then I was like, oh, at least I tried. And he's like, yeah, don't worry. And he gave me a hug. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I'll take the hug.
Why not? That's a good consolation prize.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take the sympathy hug.
Sympathy hug. You're hilarious.
It was good times. Yeah, I really enjoyed those two experiences. And
yeah,
the Nick,
for sure.
Yeah. And then my first time meeting Kevin was at the GMA. Yeah, so there's the VIP dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
hard.
This one in the dress is the best. Okay.
Yeah, the VIP dinner, and then because I enjoyed the other VIP, that was the Hamilton VIP with the four of them.
Oh my God, that doesn't even look like you.
I know. This is when I put makeup on and
oh wow, look at you,
and then cut my hair and then put earrings on.
So
I'm a whole new person.
A whole new world. And then we got you and AJ here. What's this one from?
That was my first time meeting. That was my first time meeting AJ at the. Was it Good Morning America? No, it was the other one, CBS Early Show.
Okay. Oh, so this was in New York.
Yes.
Okay.
And
was it all the boys were there, or just him?
Yeah, all the boys were there, and then he was there in the morning. This was like team no sleep. I didn't sleep at all. I think I had like a half an hour sleep.
Yeah.
I did not sleep at all. Worth it though, because you had to be there. Like he was outside, like smoking at like 6 a.m.
That is, you know what, guys? If you want to get a picture with the Backstreet Boy, your odds of AJ are very good because most buildings don't allow smoking inside. So just find the smoking area and he will be there.
Exactly.
Vaping and smoking. So. But
usually they do like Good Morning America, but for this one they did Early Show.
Okay.
So I was like, yay. So that was my first picture with AJ. Those were my first pictures with Brian. And then the ones that you showed, my first picture with Nick, first picture with Howie. And then the one with Kevin was at the GMA.
This one?
No, with a group photo.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me go back. This one?
Yeah. Yes. This was when Kevin came back.
This is when Kevin came back.
The GMA rehearsal where they were like, you don't need to take photos. They're going to take photos for us. And we were sitting cross-legged like an assembly at school.
My leg was falling asleep. We were in the front row.
We were in the front row.
That was a crazy shit show.
There was Backstreet Boys everywhere. I didn't know where to look. It was a good problem to have. It was the best.
And then you went to go like cheer and put your hands up, and then you realize your hand is literally at their crotch. So now you're just like, okay, this is awkward. I'm not trying to grab you. Like, and then we were making fun of Nick and not realizing that Nick was, like 3 feet away from us, so he could hear us. And he's like, "What?" And we're like, "Well, nothing."
Right, because at concerts he can't hear what you're saying.
Yes,
but obviously this is a different atmosphere. He can hear what you're saying.
And then Brian was taking pictures in the crowd, and he took it with us, and he had to go show Sophia that she was in the picture. And he's like, "Sophia, you're here!" Like,
yeah. I think because my phone like died or something, and I was like, "Oh, can I see it?" I don't know. I didn't think he was gonna show me, but But I was like, "Can I see the photo?" And then he's like, "Yes," because I think I said, "Oh, my phone died, so I won't be able to see it till I get to the hotel, and who knows how long that will be."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes," and then he showed me.
It's cute.
Turned out
Yeah,
me.
so that was fun. And then Kevin
Oh, yeah,
came out and he
this
started
was
crying.
also, yes, and this was also like my first time hugging him as well. So I got a first time hug and a first time photo.
With who? Oh, with Kevin.
Kevin.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, you've hugged Brian before, broski. You just told us. But yes. But yeah, so Kevin had come out and then he's crying. We're like, what a loser, he's crying. And then we were tearing up. We're like, damn it, Kevin. Like, what the hell, man?
I think it was just like emotional time.
Yes.
Because like he's saying his his part in I Want It That Way. And we hadn't heard it for so long.
Yes.
So then I think that's why we all got emotional because we're like, oh my God. And then like when you see someone crying, you cry too. I don't know what it is, but it just happened. It's like a reaction that you do.
And then my favorite part is then we're coming in for this picture and we're like, hey, Justin, where should we put our bags somewhere? He's like, no, they won't be in the picture. As you can see, all the bags are on the floor in the picture.
Was it Justin or Eddie?
Was it Justin or Eddie? I know Eddie was there for sure.
I think it was Eddie. I think Justin couldn't make it that time.
I remember. One of them was there.
One of them, yeah. It might have been Eddie.
Yeah, you're fine. We're like, are we fine? And then as we were coming in, I believe it was Q still alive back then.
Yes.
And then they're just like, no hugs, no hugs. And then AJ took a look at us. He's like, our group. And because there were some other people who were regulars who had been to a bunch of shows, he's like, yeah, no, this group is getting hugs. And like,
yeah, is that not a fat chance that this group is not getting hugs? Yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was really funny. So we're just like, okay, and we're like, all right, we get AJ this time. And then
yes,
I just think it's really funny in this picture that it looks like Diane is like leaning away from Brian because Brian was leaning. So she's like, so instead of leaning into Brian, she's like, oh, he's leaning. So let me lean too into Nikki. And it's just like,
yeah, that was funny.
Oh, too funny. And the poor people.
Then the next the solo Kevin pick was at Toledo, Ohio's after party.
Toledo.
And before that,
this was in that weird little like tent thing that was on.
It was like a barn, right? Wasn't there like a barn?
Yeah. /tent.
So before this, we tried on the cruise to get a solo photo, but there was like too many people pushing and we couldn't get one.
Yes, because he was out on the sand because he wasn't officially on the cruise. So it was
he did. He was gonna do beach volleyball.
Some selfies with him in the background, but it is definitely not.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So then when we went to Toledo, Ohio, we're like, yes, we're finally gonna get a solo photo with Kevin, and this is what we came up with.
Do you have that picture from that? Oh my God, that's such a funny picture. Hold on, let me see if I have it online.
That's the one like our back is towards him. Oh yeah, that one's a good one too.
Where is that picture? This was like our favorite picture for the longest time.
Yeah, it was so good.
So it was so funny. Like
we were in charge of explaining to the boys.
I believe we've explained this a few times, but for people who are in your ear, we're just ridiculous. I don't know how to explain it. And these poor girls that are cut off I just felt so bad for them because they were like, okay, it's like groups of like 4 or 5. And we were like, there's only 3 of us. Is that okay? And Justin? Was it Justin?
I think it was Josh.
Josh was like, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But Nikki was ahead of us and she was getting a Kevin tattoo, I think, right?
I think so.
So
it might have been either Nikki or somebody else that he was talking to.
So Kevin was like off to the side chatting forever. So because he was taking forever to come back, they put these 2 girls with us, and I felt so bad for them because they were not in on this dumbass joke.
So that's why Howie is not doing it because he probably also felt so he probably also felt bad that.
But holy shit, it was so funny. So basically, long story long.
So you and I had the privilege of explaining to the boys what we're doing.
Yes, because Diane didn't say anything.
Yes.
So basically what happened is when This Is the End came out, Backstreet Boys were in the end. We had gone to the movie theater. Not the movie theater. We'd gone to the drive-in, and there was a Superman movie ahead of it. And we were not paying attention to this movie in the least bit because we did not care. And then some kid in the movie called Superman when he was a kid, they hey Dick Splash. And we're like, dick splash? Like, who the hell? And then, ironically, right after that, some man was actually peeing in some bushes near us, and we were dying. So we thought that was hilarious. So, dick splash became like this thing that we would just say. Like,
I feel like our handshake of that summer.
So then we're just like, oh, whatever. And then we're like, dick splash. I don't know. We're ridiculous.
I think
during
also
this tour,
yes,
Jesse McCartney was opening for them. So Jesse McCartney had some song about rolling the dice or something. So he made like a gesture like rolling the dice, and we're like, that's hilarious. We're stealing that for the dick splash. So it's gonna be like roll the dice splash, right? So then we were
I think at one point he even had the guns. I don't know.
Like that. Yeah, he was like, oh my god, it was so funny. Such a good kid.
Oh, even now thinking about it, I'm dying. I can't.
So funny. So anyways, at this concert, I'm just like, oh my god, this is hilarious, because we had this stupid inside joke for the longest time. We're like, we should get the guys to do the dick splash thing.
I know.
But we're not going to do it if we explain what it is. So we're going to say rolling the dice. Because I believe they had just announced Vegas or something.
Yes, I believe so.
Something
the Las Vegas residency. Yeah.
Something with Las Vegas. We're like, oh my God, this is perfect. We can pretend they're rolling dice, and we'll pretend it's because of Vegas or whatever. So we go in, and Sophia was first. So you went down the line. So say your part.
So I think my objective was to tell AJ and Kevin, and then yours was to tell Howie and Nick.
Yes.
So we gave them a hug.
Because Brian doesn't go to after parties.
Yes.
So
although I have a story for Brian as well on the cruise. Yes. So I go to AJ. Hey AJ, we're gonna do the picture rolling the dice. Is that okay with you? And he's like, yeah. So then we're like, okay, we're gonna have to explain to Kevin. So once Kevin came back, we were AJ's like confidently telling him, not that I just told him like 2 seconds ago, like what we're doing. And he's like, hey, Kevin, we're going to do this. So rolling the dice. And then he looks at us like we have two heads, like what? And then, it was very funny.
It was so funny. So then I go up first, and I am there with, oh my God, Howie. So I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like about to explain this to him. And then Nick was like, oh, she's wearing your 100 kisses. So I had this like shirt that had glitter. And it had like lips all over it. And Howie had just come out with the song 100 Kisses. So then I was like, yes, I am. And then I like whipped around, and I was wearing like this crazy ass push-up bra. So I like whipped my tits in Howie's face, like not like hitting him, but I was just like, yes, I'm wearing this for you. And then Nick's like, haha. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this like rolling the dice thing. And they're like, oh, okay. So we go do that. Diane did not want any part of this, but she was like, okay, I'm just going to be in it. She's like, I'll do it, but I'm not going to say anything to the guys. So we had like, so we're good. So Nick has like a good firm rolling the dice going on. So we do this whole thing.
And then all of us are like, we have it in our hand, right? So that's why it's like high up for us. So we have the dice in our hand, and that's why we're doing it like that. Because we're very into it. You can tell.
We just thought this was so fucking hilarious. Like
then AJ,
like AJ's facial hair here. It's very like piratey.
Yeah, and this was like the first time AJ like showed teeth, so we're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yes, because AJ has this habit of not like smiling with teeth. He just like his mouth smile. So he was like, oh my God, he's showing teeth. Like it was like the funniest thing ever. Yeah. So as we were like walking away, obviously because I'm the last one.
So as I'm leaving, first, as I'm leaving, Kevin goes to AJ. AJ goes to Kevin. That's gonna look so weird. It looks like we're doing something that we're not.
That's what happened. So then, So Sophia's walking away, and Kevin's like, I'm confused. What did we just do? And AJ's like, this is gonna look so stupid. It's gonna look like we're. And then I left before he said jerking off, but I was very
because I feel like I heard that part a little bit of that part in the beginning. I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. Bye-bye.
It was so funny.
It was so funny.
It was a good time. We're ridiculous. I don't know. So
it helps us to get through. It helps us get through and entertain each other.
We had met them a few times. I mean, we were kind of bored of just like the plain pictures of just standing there. So we're like, let's do something fun. So that's kind of where we were at.
Yes. And then
let me go back to your tab.
So that was Kevin's first photo. And then this was in Montreal. So then after that, I kept getting like photos with Kevin and Howie.
Is this at the hotel?
Yes. Remember we were in paparazzi shots in Montreal?
Funny. So we had gone to Montreal. We took the bus. We took this stupid ass bus that
The Greyhound
We
bus.
stopped in Ottawa for like 4 hours in the middle of the night, and we just had to like hang out in this like creepy bus station with nothing to do. And we're like, okay, great. We were freezing. It was so cold.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
Hoodie and like putting it in the fan so the heat would. Luckily, we were able to get an earlier bus because they're like, oh, there's space on this bus. Go on the early bus. But then we ended up getting there too early that our friends weren't ready to pick us up because they thought we were coming an hour later. So then we were stuck at the Montreal bus station for a bit. And then I think they picked us. Did they pick us up?
Yeah, I think so.
So they picked us up and they're like, oh, we heard where the boys are staying. So we're like, oh, okay. So we literally like pulled up and like parked. And honestly, within seconds of us being there, the guys like come out and because we see this like crowd, we're like, okay, obviously something's happening. And the boys come out. And see, I totally forgot this story. So thank you for this picture.
Yeah.
So they come out and then like the paparazzi. So Sophia's like, going to go to get a picture with Kevin. So she took off. I had flip-flops. I couldn't run. I was like, Godspeed, do your thing. But then like the paparazzi were like taking pictures and everything. And then we ended up being like, I think Sophia for sure, I don't know if I was, in like the paparazzi photos of that day. And like, it was just really funny. I think there was also
because I got a picture with Kevin, Nick, and I think Howie too. I think I got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one was good. I was like, oh, that's so nice.
Hustle, baby. All right. So that appears to be the end of these pictures.
Yes. So all in all, it was quite the experience for me. Different than Chinzia because she met Howie first, and you can go and say your stuff.
Where did I meet
for Backstreet Boys?
First, this one would be the Howie. This was my first Howie one.
My favorite about this is every year you forgot that you went on a cruise with Howie and got a photo with him, and you would show the album, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot about this." And I was like, "I know, you told me last year you forgot as well."
So again, I feel like it might have been because I feel like I was part of the fan club, but not really. I don't even know. Somehow I heard that Howie was doing a dinner cruise in Toronto, which I'm surprised you were not there, Sophia.
I probably didn't hear about this. Because it was in 2005, right?
Across things sometimes. I have no idea how I hear about it, but whatever. So Howie was doing this like dinner cruise around like the Toronto Island. So it's like a 3-hour thing. You're on this like little boat. Maybe 50 people, maybe 100. There wasn't a lot. It was not crazy. But then they gave you like dinner and then and then he was like auctioning off some of his clothes from the tour and things because this was
for lupus,
a fundraiser for the Duro Lupus Foundation, which no longer exists, but Howie's sister died of lupus, so they decided they were going to do some fundraising in Canada for some reason. I don't know why.
He loves Toronto, as we can attest to.
They know that people are going to come when it's in Toronto. Yeah. So anyway, so
was this in 2005? I believe that's what you told me.
Sure. I have no idea, Sophia. I have no concept of time. Let me see if I can look up Duro Lupus Foundation.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because I feel like that's a year that you had told me.
You know what? You have good memories, so possibly, yes. We'll go with that. No idea. Anyway, so actually I have the book upstairs. I'm just too lazy to go get it because my mom made a little photo album.
Was the photo album you told us about, and then you would forget every year about it.
Yes, for sure. So basically, I did not drive. And I don't know if the Go Bus didn't exist or I just didn't really know how to. No, it must have existed because I used to take it to Cyril.
Maybe it wasn't as popular as it is now.
Or I didn't really know where this thing was because it wasn't like downtown, whatever. So I convinced my mom. I was like, hey, Mom, look, Howie from the Backstreet Boys is doing this dinner cruise and it's only $50. It's so great and whatever. And she's just like, oh, okay. Because I was like, I've never met a Backstreet Boy before and whatever. It was actually $150, but I figured if I told my mom it was $150, she would not come. So I stuck with I figured 50 is a okay price for like food and boat and whatever. So I obviously paid the extra. I think I might have paid it all, but I was just like, okay. So I'm like, you just need to drive us. And my mom hates driving on the highway, so that was fun. But anyway, so we get there, we do this thing, you take a picture with him. And then we like just kind of like went around Toronto Island and stuff. And it was just like fun, but it was also funny because wherever Howie went, everyone followed. So like at some points the boat was kind of listing a little bit because it's a small little yacht. It's not really a thing, but yeah, it was pretty funny. And then he had told us like this story. He recorded a voicemail like, you're listening to Chinzi, you're leaving a message for Chinzi or something like that. Then eventually I switched phones and I lost it, which sucks because he recorded it like right into my voice messages. But for like a good year or so, I had Howie on there. But yeah, it was fun. But he was telling us this story about how he went to a hockey game and he knows nothing about hockey or sports or anything like that.
Is this the Wayne Gretzky story?
Yes. So then he so the kid on his street was like, oh, hey, I really love hockey. Like if you get to meet any of them, I would love an autograph or something like that. And he's like, yeah, sure, buddy, no problem. So I don't even know, he may have done the national anthem or he may have just whatever, went to the locker room afterwards. And the one guy, it was like his last game or something. And he signed like his hockey stick and gave it to Howie. And Howie's like, oh, that's so great. Like my neighbors are going to love this. Like, wow, that's so nice of you, whatever. And then when they left, like the person that Howie went with,
Wayne Gretzky's last game in New York City?
Possibly.
For the Rangers?
Possibly. I can't remember.
Oh my gosh. Howie. Okay, I remember.
But anyways, Howie got this fucking hockey stick and it was signed. So he's like, oh, that's great. My like neighbor's going to love this. And the person he was with like, do you know who that was? And he's like, some 99. I don't know who this person is. Like, it's Wayne Gretzky. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, this is worth a lot of money and stuff. He's like, oh, well, sorry, kid, you're out of luck. So he ended up keeping the hockey stick.
Oh my gosh, Howie.
It's like Howie.
That was funny. But also, like, thank God he kept the hockey stick because he would have killed him. Like, he would have, like, kicked himself.
Yeah.
If he found that out and he did it and he gave it away.
So funny. And then he was also telling us, oh no, that was a different thing. But anyways, yeah, it was just like fun. And then I think Howie used to date somebody from Canada. I want to say Elisa, but I could be wrong.
Oh, so maybe
that's why he was.
Well, wasn't there also like you asked him like what song did he write, and you were always like,
that was the other thing. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this was year one of the Stero Lupus thing. So then he ended up coming back and did it a second time. And that was so he was managing this guy. His name is George Nozuka. So
yes,
they were at the Playhouse Theater and they were doing like another fundraiser, which I think it was just them performing and stuff. But what they ended up doing is they had a live auction. So they had like a silent auction, but then they had a live auction. So on the live auction, you could bid to have lunch with Howie. So you and a friend could bid. So there was a girl named Sarah that I had met the previous year on the boat. And she's like, oh my God, I totally want to do this. Like, I don't know. She's like, I'll do it if you do it. Because my mom decided not to come to this one. So I went by myself. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Let's bid. So we ended up bidding. And then it got into a bit of bidding war. And then we're like, this is getting a bit expensive. So we were like, shit, should we tap out? I'm like, I don't know, I guess. And then Howie's like, you know what? We want to make lots of money for the thing. Because it was basically just between us and this other group of these other two girls. So they're like, if you guys are okay with it, you all pay the price. Like both couples paid the, like, I can't remember. I think it was like $500. I can't remember what it was. He's like, so instead of just making $500, we can make $1,000 if both teams pay. So we're like, okay, let's do it. So we ended up doing that. And the lunch was the next day. So then I had to come to Toronto again the next day. But so it was Howie, George, and then CJ from 3 Deep, Canadian.
Chinzia's CJ's number one fan.
I don't know why I love CJ, but I do.
He's
funny,
from 3 Deep.
Yes. So here is us at the lunch. So outside of the place. So, oh my God, it was so good. Like it was this like Italian like buffet place and it was so good. I was like, the other girl's like, I'm too nervous to eat. I'm like, fuck you. I paid all this money. I'm eating like the good, bring on the lasagna. Like it was like.
That was when at the next lunch, remember? They were like too nervous to eat. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get food. I'm fucking
like,
starving.
I paid money. I'm going to eat this food. So yes, as you can see, that's my priority. So yeah, here's the girls. So that's.
Oh, nice.
There's CJ from 3 Deep. I can't remember these two girls, but those are the two girls. And then she came with her boyfriend because he needed to drive her there. And then Howie was like, oh, if you want to come too, why not? And so Brent got to go there as well. So yeah, so we actually ended up like staying it was like a pretty good, like it was a couple hours, I would say. And I think it was the girl who also organized the Duro Lupus thing, so she was there too.
Well, this was his idea. Now he does How He Eats.
Yes, right. So you know what? This was probably one of the very first How He Eats because it was, so it was good. But it was so funny because like I was like, oh, CJ from 3 Deep is going to be there. I found like I had like a CD from the store I got for 99 cents. I was like, I'll just bring this, whatever. And it turned out it was like a super rare 3 Deep CD. So then CJ thought I was like a bigger fan than I actually was. And I was like, all right, sure, why not? Let's go for it. So but then so we were like talking, and there was a boy band play out at that time called Boy Groove that was in the Toronto Fringe Festival, and they won Best of Fringe. And then they ended up getting like a 3-month or whatever at this place where we had the fundraiser at the Blue Jays Way, but it was on Blue Jays Way, but I can't remember what it was called. It's out of business. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I was telling Howie, I was like, oh, it's such a funny show, like, and CJ was like, I saw it, I didn't think it was funny. I'm like, dude, like it was about like it was like a parody, it was about boy bands, and it was kind of like a mockumentary of like this boy band thing. And he's like, I didn't think it was that realistic. I'm like, okay, but you were actually in a boy band, so for people watching this, it seemed like it would be a good thing. And then so whatever, so then somehow we got on the topic that it was similar to Together, like the TV show. And then Howie was like, oh, I wrote songs for Together. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I write a lot of songs. I write songs. I was like, I had no idea that you write songs, but okay, cool. I'm like, what songs did you write? And he's like, I don't know. I don't remember. I was like, what? I'm like, how do you not remember what you wrote? He's like, I write a lot of songs, okay? And some of them get picked up and some don't. And I'm like, so then I just started like naming some songs. I was like, was it hardest part of breaking up is getting back your stuff? He's like, no. I'm like, was it you and me together we make 3? He's like, no. And then he was like, I was like listing a few other ones, and he's like, I wrote the nice song, the nice ones. And I was like, okay. And we looked it up later, and I still to this day keep forgetting what the song was.
Well, to be fair, Howie doesn't remember that he writes songs for Backstreet Boys either, so no worries. Because when I went to the Highland Ballroom during This Is Us era, somebody asked a question, and I was in the front row. Somebody asked, what is your least favorite song? And then I was in the front row, and I was like, Say She's a Dream is your least favorite song, because I hated She's a Dream. Like, I didn't like the song. And then I went to apologize during the meet and greet, and he's like, that's okay, I don't remember writing that song. I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad. I don't feel bad.
Amazing. I just clicked out of it. Every Minute, Every Hour.
Ooh, nice.
Co-wrote Every Minute, Every Hour. I just can't get you out of my mind. So anyway, so yeah, it was a fun like Howie event, though. I thought that was good. I also ran into him again. Was it that year? A few years. So we came to this realization that Howie just really likes to go to award ceremonies and get free stuff. Because I think this was around the time of TIFF. So I think he went and got like a bunch of free stuff. So whatever. And then when he was in Hamilton for the CCMAs, I think he might have presented something. And then he got the free stuff. And so, which was funny because I remember I was afterwards, and there's this girl, Beth, that I ran into all the time. And she's like, oh, hey, are you looking for Howie? I was like, no, I didn't even think I knew he was there yet. I just like, okay. She's like, oh, Howie from Backstreet Boys is there. I'm like, why would Howie from the Backstreet Boys be here? And then she's like, he's upstairs in the Sheridan in the bar, because the bar is on the second floor. And I was like, all right. So me and my friend Jen went up there, and we're just like, holy shit, it is Howie. And he was just like at the bar, and CJ was there. And I was like, how do I like make this work here? And I'm like, I don't want to be like, I want a picture with you, Howie. But then I was like, I don't want to. So I can't remember what I said, but I said something like, was I addressing CJ? I don't know. Jen's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And then I was just like, oh, this guy again or something. And then he's like, oh, hey, whatever. And then I was like, CJ, can I get a picture with you? And then CJ's like, oh, do you want Howie to be in the picture? I'm like, I don't know, I guess. And then just like, my scheme has worked. We don't know where I got that picture, but it was like, so it was me, CJ, Howie, and my friend Jen.
I think you at one point name dropped all of us. And then
Yes, and I was like, oh yeah, Sophia and them, and then like I'm just like pretending like we're fucking best friends because we've like met.
because in 2011, because in 2011 we met him so many times, so maybe he knows your face. I don't know.
It was just really.
So
funny,
I get why you name dropped us. I get it.
Look at all these random Howie pictures I have. I need to update this thing. Yeah, so that was that one. This is my birthday, the 1 year.
Yeah,
Trish.
That was cute.
That was one picture of us waiting for Howie forever to show up, and he finally did. Howie is a very much of a night owl.
Yes.
He likes to show up late.
Anytime there's drinks involved, yes.
Yes, for sure. Waltzes in. This is when we saw Howie at. You weren't there for that.
I think it was Good Morning.
Howie had
in Global, right? The Global show.
Say City TV, maybe.
Oh, Breakfast Television.
Breakfast Television. He was on one of those. So we went and we're like, oh, I wonder if we'll see him. And as we're like waiting, so there was literally like, oh, there's going to be a lot of people, and it was just literally me, Pam, Rochelle, and oh my god, I forget her name, the other girl with glasses. But anyways, we were just there, and Howie just walks by. We're like, all right, like it was like such perfect timing. We hadn't even been waiting that long, so we're like, okay, let's get a picture now. So that was. Oh, there's Josh. I didn't even notice.
Yes, that was the time I was really sick, and then I couldn't come in the morning. So I said, okay, I'll come in a little while. And you're like, yeah, I think you should come now.
Yes. So then after this, then he was also at Much Music, and we went because we used to go to Much Music all the time. And then when we get there,
wasn't this about ageism?
Yes. Yes. They're like, because we weren't teenagers anymore. We were like, I think
in your 30s.
Early 30s, I think. Yeah. Because at least.
And I guess Howie was in his 40s or something, right?
So we would have been late 20s, early 30s. And Howie was like 40s. Yeah. So then they're just like, actually, you know, only like the young ones. We're like, what the fuck is this ageism? We're like, Howie is in his 40s. Why are you letting like 15?
We literally grew up with Howie. Like, come on.
It's just like, whatever. They're like, if there's space, we'll let you in. And we're like, girl. So then eventually they let us in. So I was like, whatever. But we had to stand in the back.
Because this was for his album.
It was his album. Yeah, album release. But it wasn't him for the whole hour. It was him and some other whatever. So anyway, so we're there.
Right, because you had to leave to go to HMV for the signing.
The autograph signing. So we wanted
But they wouldn't let you leave.
No. So they're like, okay. So we're like, okay. So then Howie was like talking, and I can't even remember what he was talking about. I think he might have been talking about, Neverest. Because at this point, Neverest was there or something. He was talking about something, and I was like, woo! But I was the only woo because none of these teenagers knew what the hell Howie was talking about. And it was like, and then he looked up and he's like, oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, yeah, okay. So it was pretty funny. And then, so we're like, whatever.
Didn't you have a sign of like, this is how we do it or something? Because I know that was like,
because that's what I do. I hold signs and that's my jam. And then it went to like a commercial break, but CJ was there too. So then like they were like, whatever. So CJ was like standing off to the side. So I went there. So as soon as I went to commercial break, I went over. I'm like, hey, and CJ's like, hey, and gave me like a big hug. I was like, I love CJ. So it was like a good Howie CJ time.
Yes.
I don't have any of my CJ pictures. That's sad.
The New Year's, the New Year's
Eve
one, right?
Then later that day at HMV for the autograph signing. So
yes, this was when I was very sick, and then I came by subway, and I got there, and then
like, oh, just give me another hour. I'm like, buddy, there's not enough people here.
I know, you're like, come out. So good thing I came, because as soon as I came, it was basically almost over.
Yeah, because they went through the line pretty quick. So
yeah. And then at that time, Josh was like, that's okay. You can hug him. You can talk. It's all good. But for Nick, he was like, no.
I just found the picture of Kevin. This is when he was on the beach and we're trying to take selfies.
Yes, he's doing the beach volleyball.
We're like, yes, I totally took a picture with Kevin. This is from the cruise.
Yes, the pre-cruise event.
The pre-cruise event, because Howie's like, I'll take a picture with you, but I have to go to the bathroom. We're like, okay. And then he came out of the bathroom and took a picture. He was drunk. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So for that one, for that cruise time, each day we took a picture with Howie and then another boy. It was free.
It was so, yeah. What cruise was this?
I think 2011.
Maybe. But basically, like every day we got a picture with Howie, and then we got a picture with one of the other members. But it was like, so it was like a very good Howie day. But this, he was very late at night and he was drunk. His eyes are hilarious. One of my favorite pictures of Howie.
It was very, it's so good.
AJ from the same night. Was it like Sphincter night? I can't remember. It was
Yeah,
like
Sphincter night.
Yeah. That's good. But this one, where was it? This one, I feel like I've not talked about this before, and I forgot about this one. So this was another cruise. I do not recall.
This was a pre-cruise event out the Wiley party.
Yes. So Wiley is.
I believe this one was first, and then the after party.
Oh, was it all on the same day?
I believe so.
Yes. So this was kind of like in the evening, but not too late. And then obviously the after party was like later. And then, which is funny because then we had to get on a boat the next day and we're just like, okay, guys, let's wrap this up because we got to get on in the morning. Basically, Leanne, so Brian's wife, has Wiley products and she was having a Wiley party.
Anymore, but at that time, she was very into it. Yes.
So it was more like bags and scarves and clothes. And had stuff. And then what she would do is that she would then name the products after her customers. So Sophia has
they bought a lot of the products. There was like reasonably priced stuff and then more expensive stuff. So obviously I brought
like canvas and some of it was leather. So there was like definitely priced.
So I bought the more reasonably priced stuff. So I bought a lot of that. So it obviously adds up. So over time, when you buy those things, then she was like, yes, you're one of my best customers. I'm going to name a purse after you.
And so that was pretty cool. And then Sophia ran into a couple other people who had items named after them.
Yes, Erica was one. I had another friend, Audrey, but she wasn't there. She was in Europe. And there was another one, Nina, but Nina was there. But the one, Erica, was like, oh, is that named after me? And then I was like, I don't think so. I think
it's not. Just pretend it is.
Yeah. But I think she was like, I don't know. She was kind of strange. So I was like, okay. Yes, this was like, go enjoy your pizza moment. Yes.
Go enjoy pizza. What?
Go enjoy your pizza moment on the cruise.
Oh, yes. But that's not this is so anyway. So we're at this thing and let's be honest. Most people were there because they wanted to see Brian. Like they were obviously like supporting Leanne's thing, but Brian supports his wife, so they knew that Brian would be there, and this would be a free way to meet Brian.
Yes, and then she added him in the name, so it was now Briley. Before it was just Wiley.
Okay.
Yes. So then just Wiley and literal, but then they added him in, so it was Briley.
Yes. So anyway, so they had this little like cocktail party, I guess, where they were
they had like sliders and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that was also it. I was like, woohoo, there's like free little snacks. And we're like, this is great. What a great event that does not cost money.
It was a delightful event.
Obviously, unless you were purchasing. The point was you were supposed to purchase stuff, but I was like, I'm not paying money for this. Because I think like the cheapest thing was like $30, which again is not that expensive, but it was like
I think one of the scarves was like 15 or 20. Because it was like the smaller ones.
Yes, because they had scarves that were made of more of like a harder cotton, and then they had like the soft, like stretchy t-shirt cotton ones.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, so then at this point, like it's closing up, but people wanted pictures, and he's like, hey, you know what? Let's just like make a line, and then we'll take pictures. So we're like, okay, but he had no one there to take the pictures. So then he's like, oh, just give your camera to the next person, and they'll take your picture, and then go get the thing. Like, it was like, so it was going slow as fuck, and it was very disorganized because the security guard was trying to get them to leave, but they're like, I got to get my camera from this person, and it was just like, whatever. So then at the time I was street team, so I'm like, I do this every day. So then
that's very helpful.
I just took it upon myself to go to the front of the line and said, I will take the pictures for everyone. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. So then they would hand me the camera. I would take the picture. I would give it to them, the next person. So it was a good system. It flowed well. The line moved quickly. Everyone was happy and they were less stressed because before they were like stressing out, like, oh, who's going to hold this? Like, whatever, especially if they had never met Brian before. So it went swimmingly well. Did they kick you out? I can't remember. No, they didn't.
No, I left. I left, and then I realized, oh, you're going to help.
So
That's
good.
what. But I didn't realize you were doing that, so then I had left, and then I
then
snuck
she was
back
like, "Who
in.
the hell is this?" She snuck back in, and she's like, "Oh,
And
I'm
then I
watching."
snuck back in. I was like, okay, Chinzia is helping. Got it. I need to stay over
"Oh,
here.
I'm just waiting for my friend. She's helping with the pictures." So we did all that, and then Brian's like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then Leanne, was it Brian or one of them was like, "Please take one of our
Oh, it was
items."
Leanne. Leanne was
Leanne's
like, thank you for
"Oh,
helping.
thanks so
Yeah.
much for your help. Here, grab a scarf." So I was like, "Sophia, I need your assistance." And I was like, "Which of these scarves cost the most money?"
And I chose the longest one because like this is the most.
This one is very long. It's like, so I was like, haha. So then now I had a Wiley product that I could proudly wear at events to make it look like I was supporting their brand by buying things, which I did not. But I'm like, you know what?
It was helpful because you pulled your luggage with the scarf.
I did, yes, because my suitcase ended up breaking.
I
or
think the
something.
wheel broke, right? The wheel broke.
Something broke, and I ended up having to put the thing and like lugging my luggage with it. So very
And you're like,
versatile.
see,
I still
it's
have it.
multi-purpose, this scarf. It
Yes. So
was
good.
very entertaining.
So it was very entertaining. So that's one of the
That was a fun night. I feel
That
like
was-
any of the cruise events was very fun. And the cruise itself was lots of fun.
I missed the cruise, man. The cruise was good times.
I don't think they're ever
Um,
coming back because of COVID.
Yeah. Tis
I
a
think
shame.
they're just gonna do the resort now and the what they did last year. What did they do? Cancun resort thing? What did they do?
Yes, the Mexico
Yes.
thing.
Yes, the Cancun or whatever.
Oh, we forgot this one. Have we showed this one before?
I think so. I think we
This
talked
was
about it.
probably one of our first times meeting Nick.
Yes.
So this is when we watched.
This was when we met back up because we chatted, but we hadn't like
we
hung
had
out
met
anymore.
like 8 months before.
Yes.
Had a fun night out, but then we just
At
kind of,
Mother
like,
Tucker's place. Mother Tucker's place. Yep.
which is sadly out of business.
Yes.
But then we hadn't seen each other in ages, and then
you were
to go to
sitting
this
in
event.
front of us. And
Yes, 'cause
then
I didn't know you guys were going, so you guys were all
Yeah.
still friends. So you guys ghosted me apparently. Or something.
no, I don't know what happened. There must
You
have
know
been
what? I didn't
something.
go to the fan club as often.
Maybe that's
I
what it
only,
was.
like, found out about it randomly because of whatever, and then
Did we all exchange phone numbers? I don't think so. Maybe we just like, okay, keep in touch on the fan club and that's it.
yeah, because Aaron had sent a message to the fan club, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't know who
Yeah.
this person is,
And
but
then
sure,
I
I'll
think
do it.
after this is when we exchanged numbers because you and I were like giggling and doing inside jokes and
Yes, that was a fun
commenting
time.
on things. Yes.
Anyone who has not had the pleasure of seeing this movie, it is on YouTube. It's only 15 minutes long. It's Nick's directorial debut. He wrote it, directed, starred in it. It's about this pendant that's haunted, and it, spoiler alert, kills his girlfriend.
I remember in a tweet he was like, "This is my like high school experience," and now
College experience, yes.
something. And then the Dead 7 is I graduated to something
maybe.
called either college
Maybe
or
college,
something else. Yeah.
yeah. It was funny.
And I was like,
Anyway.
okay, that's fun.
So for this one, they said people wanted to just have two in a picture because he has two sides, but they were like, no, you need to have four in the picture, blah, blah, blah. So our friend Erin and her sister were ahead of us, and they pretended they did not know us, and then just kind of like muscled their way into only having two people in the picture.
Yes, because Eddie was gonna tell me to go, but I was like, oh, I don't even know them, so why would I do that?
Yeah. So because that was Erin's first time meeting.
Yes.
And yeah. So anyway, so we were going in. So then it was
We were
Sophia,
gonna get
and-
two of us, but then he's like, no.
No, we got to keep going. We're just like, okay, fine. I'm like, the more time you're arguing with us, you could have taken the pictures of just groups of two, but okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we get in. Sophia, you went in first.
I went in first, gave him a hug. Then I sat down. I said, oh, great show, or I'm looking forward to the show. And then I said, I'm sorry I laughed during this part because you were like banging your head instead of like calling 911. And I was like, I laughed. That was funny. Like, why are you not calling 911?
Yes,
Why are you sliding down the door and hitting your head?
exactly.
And then
we
he's like,
laughed.
that's okay. He's like, that's okay. I'm like, okay, as long as you're okay with it.
It was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. And then see, I leaned
say-
in. I'm always leaning.
Yes. And it was also very awkward because Nick was sitting down the entire time.
Yes.
So, because I get it, because obviously it's because people are coming or whatever, but he's sitting down. So then, like the clumsy asshole that I am, I went to go give him a hug, basically tripped on his foot, fell on him. I was like, holy shit, I'm falling on Nick. Then I went back, flailed backwards, fell into the chair, and then the chair moved back. And then I was like, ah, and I was like, so I was like, I was going to go on the other side of Sophia. And I was like, fuck that. I want to be on the other side of Nick. So I was like,
So I didn't know any of that happened until after we met him and she's explaining everything. I was like, oh, wow, what an adventure for you.
oh, yes, it was just a lot. And then your friend Tracy and then Lindsay came in, whatever. So we took these.
Yes.
Then
Remember after you're like
years to be loaded. So we're like,
Yeah.
Justin, where are the pictures? What's going on? So he's like, oh, I'm just doing something to them. So he finally uploaded them, and they were these gray ass pictures with the pen, which I get it. It's very artsy and stuff. But this was one of the first times that people had met Nick. And they wanted a color picture of Nick. And he's like, I don't have any color. It's only in black and white. And then it was like, people were just pissed off. Like,
yeah, I guess that it was like the pendant. It was trying to be like a scary kind of movie.
Also, I don't know if you can tell, but because of the shadowing and stuff, he kind of looks like Frankenstein's monster here.
Yes.
Like his head is very weird, but
And then remember you were like, see you on the cruise, and he's like, tomorrow.
Like, tomorrow? And I was like, right. I'm like, yes. But I didn't have VIP for the next day.
Right.
So I was like, he's gonna see me tomorrow. And then I was like,
I guess he means like the concert, right? Like you're gonna go to the concert. Yeah.
Also, what was fun about this is that some of the boys came to support Nick.
Yes, AJ and Howie.
AJ and Howie were there, so
yes,
it was a good show.
Good times.
This
was $80. This was $80.
It was $80. I was like, oh,
this was a steal of a deal.
Should we go? I don't know. And then we're just kind of like that. And then we're just
I guess because it was a movie, so like why is it $80? But I guess $80 because it's a picture with Nick, so that's why.
Yeah.
But I think at the time we thought it was like pretty cheap.
And then I remember being pissed off that we didn't have popcorn. And we're like, at a movie theater, where's our popcorn? Apparently, I only care about food at these events. This was the Nick lunch in Toronto. It was the very first Nick event. They had good food there. It was good stuff.
Yes,
butternut.
I think that's what sold us to get it.
Let's be honest, we were going to get it anyways. But I was like, Eddie, are we just getting pizza? And he's like, no. He's like, I have other food. I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, I will purchase the thing. Yeah. And he's like, okay, or like, you're here to see Nick. After that, then he cut down on the food because nobody was eating food except for us.
I was like, why are you not eating food? There's like free food. It's so good.
All this money. Let's eat this food, man. I
didn't care. I was eating. Yeah,
really nice food there.
It was so good. There was like lasagna, salad.
Yeah,
it was nice. And then they're like, oh, let's just do like a snack bar.
Yeah,
so and there was like the other one was like yogurt, granola, fruits.
My favorite part about this is that we were just being idiots in the back as per usual. And someone's like, oh, he's like, someone had said they were a fan. He's like, oh, I've been a fan of you for X amount of years. And then somebody else was like, well, I've been a fan of you for this many years. And someone else was like, I've been a fan of you since, which basically math wise made no sense because unless she lived in Orlando, Florida, there was no way she knew who the fuck the Backstreet Boys were. So then I turned and I was like, I'm a vampire. I've been a fan for 1,000 years. And it was just, and then we were killing ourselves laughing.
Oh my God.
And then he was saying something serious and we're like, oh my God, like felt like such an asshole. And then he's like,
oh, I think he was singing the song. Was it like Falling Down? I think that was, yeah.
Because Leslie had passed away. Yes. And then he needed water and nobody had it. And then did I give him the water bottle?
No. So I was sitting by the couch. And the water bottle was beside the guitar.
Yes.
Whatever that was called. What is it called? Where you put the guitar in?
Yeah, the guitar stand.
Yeah, the guitar stand. So I was like, he's like, oh, I need a water. Can you get it? And I was like, sure. And then I got it and I gave it to him.
And then I think
and then you were like, oh, where is your water coming from?
It's not poison. And I'm like, why did I say that? Like, obviously it's not poison. But I was just like, what is wrong with me? Why do I get verbal diarrhea around this man?
It was pretty funny.
It was funny. We were entertained, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. As long as you're having a good time.
He's like, oh, it's those nutcases again. Like, like
good times.
I feel like I like to switch it up from like fawning over him, and then instead of just act like an idiot on myself. So, you know,
you got to balance it out, right? Balance it
out. You got to, whatever.
But that was fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
And then even a couple people were like, wow, you gave him the water bottle? And then I was like, yeah, I did. Because I was sitting beside the couch.
Yes. And then he's like, let's do prom style pictures. So then he went to go do them. But I am sure.
But we didn't know that, eh? We didn't know that when we were in the line. When you get to when you got to him, we gave him a hug. And then he's like, he just turns you around and then he does it. I'm like, okay, I guess this is the pose that we're doing. I don't mind.
Like he's choking me because I'm so short, because it's not like, I was like, okay, it is what it is. And then my hand got caught up in my sweater, so it looks like I'm missing a hand. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm flustered and dumb. So
yeah. So then when people saw this photo of my photo, obviously they're like, oh, how did you do this? I'm like, literally, you either ask him or he's just turning you around and you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's good times.
It doesn't take much.
Does not take much.
Yes, and then we did a group shot with him.
Yes, and then we were like all up against him because we didn't know that he was behind us. But yeah,
good times.
Good times.
We had a lot of good fun memories.
A lot of fun.
Obviously, this just became a Backstreet Boys first, but obviously, let's quickly go through the other boy bands. So, who did we meet first between O-Town, 98 Degrees, and New Kids on the Block? I think it's New Kids on the Block because we did MKOTBSB.
Right.
We met Donnie Wahlberg, Joey McIntyre, Jordan Knight.
You met a bunch of them. I didn't meet.
Yeah, I met Donnie first. I think I met Donnie first, and then then we met Joey together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we met Jordan Knight together.
We also went to that one thing where they were recording something.
Yes, I think it was like.
Then I got a hug from John.
Oh, that's the government. The government. I think you won a contest because you were.
I think it was because I worked for Chorus. I was able to get some for that. So
possibly a ticket. Yes, I think so. Something like that.
And then that went. Yes, and then when I John at the concert, and then he ignored me. That was my favorite part. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he came back and gave me a hug and a kiss. And I was like, okay.
She made up for it.
It was funny because I was standing there with the sign that literally just said John, because I was like, he's old and can't read. Well, he can read.
Yes, I think you had the heart, right?
So so then he was like shaking everybody's hand. Then he came back and then he was like shaking these people. And then he skipped over me and went to the next person. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, sorry. And he came back and like gave me a hug and a kiss. And I was like, okay.
That was funny.
Oh, John.
Yes. So I think New Kids on the Block was the other boy band that we met. Or maybe for you is NSYNC.
Oh, NSYNC was my first boy band that I met.
Okay.
Ever at the Pickering Town Center, April 17th, 1998 was my first. Yes.
Wonderful. So Backstreet Boys was the second one then.
And then I met Chris at Autograph. He was at Kiss 92 for some reason. So I was there and I gave him a bear. And then he used to
probably for his clothing
line for Fu Manskito. So we went to the Eaton Center and met him there, and Much Music, and I was on TV and I got a hug from him on TV.
I remember him and Rick Campanelli were very close. I just remember watching Much Music, and Rick Campanelli was always the one that interviewed either NSYNC or Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yep, for sure. He was the boy band guy. That was his jam. So yeah, no, it was good. Did you watch that Much Music documentary? 99 Queen Street.
I might have. Was it on a Crave?
Maybe I saw it on like in theater, like they had a special.
If it was on Crave, then I believe I did. If not,
cool. I was like talking about how Much Music started and all the VJs and all that stuff. It was actually really good. It had a lot of
I saw like promo of it, but
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't released because I know they were
maybe not
and stuff.
Yeah,
legalities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that picture.
So then, so after New Kids. I think I met O-Town after.
O-Town in London is when I met them.
Yes, I think
or the Mod Club? Was it the Mod Club?
Maybe. No, I don't think so. No, it was at the con.
90s con?
No, the other con the Rewind Con.
Oh, Rewind Con. Yes.
That's where I met them. Yes.
Excellent.
That was my first time meeting them. And then
that was the first time I met 98 Degrees was at Rewind Con.
Was that this? I think I also met the 98
Yeah,
degrees.
because I was supposed to be working for Jeff Timmons, like his booth, but then when I got there, somebody else took him. So like, all we have left is Chris, and I was like, joke's on you. That's the one I wanted to work with. And then I was beside Drew Lachey, and he was just so nice. I love Drew.
Yes, that was like my con because I had the Soap Stars, the Boy Banders, and then 90210, Sweet Valley High. Like I used to watch that back in the day. Like, oh my God. Who would have thought
Greek
it?
guy from the Breakfast Club.
Yes, from the Breakfast Club. We bonded over being Greek. I believe his name was John.
Not M&M's to a bunch of soap stars. I was like,
Yes, I think the M&Ms were a much bigger hit than the chips because I think like too many hands are in the chips.
and who doesn't like M&M and peanuts except people who have allergies? So I'm like, that's probably not a smart move for me to do, but whatever. But I remember this one lady, and then I realized afterwards that she was on that show Jessie from Disney, and I was like,
Cynthia, right?
I don't know her name, but I was like, oh,
Caroline.
I'm like,
Caroline.
I met her. She's fun. Yes.
Yes, and then I think I was like, yes, I met her as well. I just met her at her booth, and then I was like, yes, she was on General Hospital. She's a lawyer.
And then we had that after party where we friggin' hustled on the Saturday and got pictures of everybody, like Alan Thicke, all these people. And I was just standing there at one side, and then I felt somebody come behind me and just put his arms on me, and I was like, who the fuck is coming up behind me? And I looked, and it was Chris from NSYNC, and I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. That's fine.
Yes. It was great. And then it was also the first time I met Steve Burden, and because he's one of my favorites from General Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was younger, I used to watch Days of Our Lives. So Missy Reeves was on there, and that she plays Jennifer on Days of Our Lives, and her husband. And I was like, oh my God, yeah.
See, I feel like Rewind Con is what 90s Con would have been like.
Yes, so they were trying to do a 90s Con.
They started so 90s Con could go because 90s Con was way more organized, and I'm assuming actually paid their celebrities. But
they came back to another one, so I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then people keep coming back to it, so yes. But yeah, they were trying to be 90s Con.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm glad that That's For Entertainment is a good organization and is able to pay their
talent. So then
because now Old Town can finally go back to a con.
There you go.
See?
And maybe they will write a song called Shady Business after it, because that's where that came from, was 90s Con. And
right? So maybe they'll write a nice song about their great experience.
Great experiences, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's some of the boy band shenanigans.
So that's our boy band first of who we met first. We thought it was very interesting because every fan is different.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you think would be easiest to get is not always the case.
So
and the ones that are hardest to get are the easiest for others.
Sometimes you're just being at the right place at the right time, like
Howie. Howie, I couldn't get till 2011, and then in 2011, I couldn't stop getting Howie, which was a good problem to have.
I felt like one more event and Howie would have remembered our names, but then then we're gone. So, oh well. We've lost momentum. Definitely the pandemic put us back. So I feel like there's not really. But hopefully the boys will start doing some more things, and that'll be good. So,
and we're still waiting for the 2025 surprise
announcement.
It is September. So maybe
they did announce that the Backstreet Boys are going to be at Stagecoach.
Yes. I heard that as well, or I saw that as well.
That's in April. I could be wrong.
Yes, and tickets will go on sale. I think it was this weekend or today or next weekend.
It's very expensive. It's like one of those Coachella type things that it's like.
So they're saying because of this might be a prelude to something else.
All right.
So stay tuned for BSB News. If there is,
it's already been announced. Well, I don't know. Check our social medias, and we'll BOYBANDBREAK. All right, peeps.
Well, this was fun. Sometimes it's good to take a stroll down memory lane. Talk about the first.
For sure. All right, guys. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.